I wanted a simple sewing project to do while I was out on the garden in this lovely autumn day. There's a template available in the link if you'd like to make one as well. And I made this sweet little cat needle minder to go in my stitching bag. I started by cutting out my template and cutting 2 pieces of fabric shaped like the little cat. Put those together. There is no right side on this fabric, but if you're using pattern fabric, put your right sides together and pin them in place, and then just sew a running stitch all the way around the outside, but leaving a gap in the base of the kitty so that you can turn it the right way around, and then you'll be able to stuff it with fluff when it's ready. To make sure that the ears poked out properly, I used a pencil just to push out those pointy bits. Then I used some polyester fluff to plump it out a little bit and stuffed it until it was a nice fat little cat, and just shaped its little head and then stitched up the base. Now, because I added so much fluff, it was a little bit difficult to stitch the base, and I had to use a pin and also a couple of clips to hold it in place. This is the sewing bag that I use out in the garden, and I've got a video on how I made that, and I'll leave the link below and attach it to the end of this video so that you can see. I pinned the base of the cat together to hold it in place so that I could stitch it properly, and used an extra couple of clips to make sure that I could turn those edges inwards without pinning myself. I gently turn the edges inwards so that I can then stitch across, and that will hold the fluff in place. I do a stitch where I sort of lace it up by going in one side and then pulling that across and then going in the other side. I've done this one for years, and it's something my mum taught me. It just laces up the base and holds it together so that the fluff doesn't fall out. And when the base is all nicely sewn up and it's secure, I just do a little double stitch at the end and pull that through the loop so that it knots, and then just pull my thread through a little bit further up and cut it off. Then I remove my pin and I can go about stitching the little face and the arms and the tail. Does anybody else use their dress as a pin cushion? Got these little circles of felt that I cut out absolutely ages ago using a die cutter, and I bring them out when I've got little projects like this to do. So I wanted to find a pair of eyes that I could then use some embroidery floss over the top. I thought these were quite cute, but it did make him look a little bit like an owl. So I decided to go with a slightly smaller pair of eyes instead. These ones were beige, but they still look quite cool. I did think about putting a little collar on him as well, but decided against it because my ribbon wasn't really long enough. So I used some thread to stitch on the eyes all the way around the circles of felt. And then I go in with some black embroidery floss and add the pupil. I use the rest of the light coloured thread to add a few little stitches to the back of his head. Just little flecks of colour. It's a really nice slow stitching project. It was really relaxing to do in the garden with the sunshine. This adds a nice little detail. I do his nose and his whiskers in the black thread as well after I've done his pupils. I think he would have looked cute with a pink nose actually. Then I go in with some Sashiko thread, which is white, and it's nice and thick. And this is quite obvious on the dark fabric that I'm using. And I use this to add a few more details, a basic running stitch, and I add his legs and his tail using this. So there we have it, a cute little cat to hold my needles when I'm out in the garden. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.